have to wait for another train to come down so that we can head up the line here. So it gives me a perfect time to go ahead and make a few announcements. First of all, unfortunately, masks are still required on the train. So if you would put your mask on, if you do not have one, go ahead and raise your hand and I can bring you one. All right, everybody looks like they have one. Now, of course, there's always a safety announcement, so I'm going to go ahead and cover that now, if you would all pay attention for just a moment. Luckily, we only have 3 safety rules today, so it's not too complicated. Rule number 1, anything you'd like to take home with you today, such as your hands, arms, cell phones, sunglasses, and especially those young children, make sure they remain inside the windows at all times and while we're in motion. We also cross by some very close stationary objects like railings, tree branches, and rocks. So don't be sticking your hands or arms out the windows, please. Rule number 2, this one's regarding the center aisle that runs the length of the train. Please do not stand in or cross over this aisle while we're in motion. This train is big and powerful, but it can also stop within 3 seconds. And if you're standing in that aisle, you're gonna know what it's like to fly. Now, flying sounds like fun, I'm sure, but that crash landing's gonna hurt. And it could hurt not only you, but your neighbors as well. So please stay out of that aisle while we're in motion. Rule number 3, this one's simple. In the rare case of any type of emergency, please let me or one of other members, staff members up there, please let us know so that we can alert dispatch and resolve that quickly.
It's hailing. It's really hot. Uh-oh.
Sure is. You did that yesterday.
Oh my gosh, it's actually hailing on this train. Oh my god. That's really good.
Every year. Rain or hail or a combination or snow.
It feels weird to be on the cog, right, Mom? That's my new host, maybe the cameraman.
I would make sure that your windows are closed. You can leave them open a few inches. That'll keep the fog from accumulating on the windows. But you probably want to have them up most of the way right now.
Because it's hailing.
All the directions setting.
Yeah, it's going to be coming right in.
Yeah. Oh, it's really coming down.
Wow. It's raining hard. And hailing hard.
I like the way they
Hopefully there's not going to be a tornado.
Well, they had all this side.
They didn't have that awning.
They didn't have the awning?
The awning only was about like that big.
And the bathrooms are new.
Yeah, the bathrooms were really nice.
Oh no.
Remember those last bathrooms? They were like
There's a
Right
problem.
here.
right.
Mom, there's a problem.
What's the problem?
Look. See that drain hole? It can flood the track at any moment.
I think they'll be okay. There's a lot of stairs there, bellas.
Oh, the hail.
If this keeps going, we're gonna have a lot of issues.
There's a lot of ballast, so we're good.
All right, looks like that other train is coming down. Make sure and wave and say hi to all of them as they come by.
You bet.
crash. Look, the hillsong.
All right, looks like everyone's seated. Doors are closed. You have a highball when you're ready.
Here we go.
I never got it.
Now, first things first here, I'm going to go ahead and walk through the train and count everybody. Make sure that I've got a final number for dispatch here. So if you would keep that aisle clear for me so that I can make my way through. And if I do bump into you, are we really friends if I haven't bumped into you? So give me a break. This aisle is a little tight, so unfortunately I might bump into you, but it's nothing personal.
We're gonna be doomed.
Look it up.
Yeah.
24 are at our Here we go. Oh no, this is not gonna be fun. If there's any ghosts in this video,
Yeah.
that's all new.
Feels a little safer than last time.
Yeah.
This is the last video I might do. Get ready. It's gonna be a lot of crashing.
Yeah, those are nice teeth there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they got rid of that. The original stuff right here.
No, they put in all new track.
Yeah.
Oh,
They had to.
some stations are still existing.
Yep.
Here we are.
It's pretty full.
Hopefully they still have that train there.
Warp speed.
This is gonna be a little bumpy.
Wow, this is rough.
It's not gonna be fun. Get ready for impact, guys. Let's get ready.
Feel the power there, Jack. Feel
Yeah.
that horsepower.
We might actually start as look older than the car somewhere there. If it's fake. Look, there's another
Okay,
shed.
Shed.
I think that's where they store that locomotive.
Good afternoon again, and welcome aboard the Broadmoor, Manitou, and Pikes Peak Railway. You are now riding aboard the world's highest cog railway and the highest railway of any kind in the United States. Our 8.9-mile league the track goes all the way up to our 14,115-foot summit. Today we're going to be going about 12,000 feet up and back down, so we're making almost the whole way today. Gonna go ahead and introduce our crew for today. Way up at the front there, behind that plexiglass, is our engineer, Peter. Everyone say hi to Peter.
Hi, Peter.
Hey, Peter.
Good luck. Because
Peter's gonna give us a safe trip up and down the mountain today like he has so many times before.
Yes, he will.
We also have a bonus engineer, that gentleman standing up the aisle. That is Steve. Hi, Steve.
This is the YouTube
My
channel.
name is Natalie, and I'll be your conductor for today.
Yes. Hi, Natalie.
It's my job to also make sure we have a safe trip up and down the mountain, but also to give you a narrative of some of the interesting things that have happened along the way. Before I continue here, I might suggest you roll your windows down just a tiny bit. That'll get rid of some of that fog.
That one. There we
Want to
go.
make sure you guys can see out there.
Maybe hold on your breath.
It is with great pride that we welcome you to our newly reopened railway. After nearly because we're all faced different directions. So instead of left and right on the train, I'm going to refer to things on the 3-seat side or the 2-seat side. That should make it easy no matter which way you're facing. Now I've got a moment here to describe how our track operates and how it always has. I'm sure later on you'll notice that we no longer need to exit the train to manually switch the track like we did for all those years before our upgrades. That could really be a tough task for us conductors because no matter what weather conditions, we had to get out of the train to switch that track. But now here in the 21st century, we have fully automated radio controlled switches that make things, oh, so much smoother. You'll also see that we have one single track that goes up and down the mountain, but our trains are traveling up and down at the same time. We're going to pass each other on what's called a siding. That's why we have to get out and switch that track, or we used to. I'll let you know later how you can help us maintain our strict schedule, but here's a hint how we do it. We leave exactly when we say we will.
Oh, that looks like a house. Does it look like a house? Maybe it's true. Maybe it's true because maybe it's true.
Now if you look out past this boulder here on the 2-seat side, you're going to see a rock that tumbled down and landed in the shape of a diamond, kind of like a diamond on a playing card. Now we're very original with our names around here, so we've always referred to this one as Diamond Rock. Diamond Rock, just like this entire mountain, is composed of a type of rock so unique to the area that its very name is Pikes Peak granite. It's a very, very old mixture of mica, feldspar, and quartz, and it's actually quite fragile. In fact, all these strange formations around us were formed by erosion or by a process called ice wedging. Ice wedging is when water seeps down into those cracks and crevices. It freezes overnight and expands and breaks those rocks apart into all different shapes and sizes.
Here's the famous steep. Up the famous steep. Up the famous steep. Up the famous steep.
Now, if you look over on the 2-seat side, there's going to be our first waterfall of the day. This one will be called Rose Emma Falls, and it's right there at track level.
Oh, I see it. Right there. Oh, there it is. Found it.
And for those of you on the 3-seat side, don't feel too left out. There's a waterfall coming up on your side that's higher than Niagara Falls, so get ready for a real Kodak moment. Don't look up, look straight across. This one's called Minnehaha Falls. Now keep in mind, I did say it was higher, not bigger. We're already at 8,300 feet, which is 8,000 feet higher than Niagara Falls. Now you might go ahead and introduce yourself to those sitting across from you. You might want to know their name or their favorite color, maybe even their favorite restaurant. Got a good reason to do this right now. You're sitting on a brand new seat, but here in a moment we're going to go up an extreme grade. And it might not take much for you to slide right out of that seat into the lap in front of you. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, it will be a lot less embarrassing if you at least know their first name.
So you cannot fall.
Okay, you hold on to my leg, I won't fall.
Hold on. Oh,
That will be okay.
ammonia.
Not like we haven't done it before.
Here's the original station. Here's Memorial Station. Wow, it's actually kind of covered.
Now, for those of you in the front car, I'm sure you see that hill coming up. That's why I told you to introduce yourself to those sitting across from you. This first hill here is called Son of a Gun Hill. It's our first 25% grade of the day. It posed quite a challenge for steam locomotives in the past. The fireman would really earn his wages shoveling enough coal to maintain the steam pressure it needed to make it to the top. As the story goes, when they made it at the top of this hill, the exhausted fireman would look over to his engineer and say, "That hill was a son of a gun," or something like that. Now 25% grade means that for every 100 feet of forward motion, we're going to gain 25 feet in elevation. The average grade for our entire trip today is only 16%.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Now you might be wondering to yourself, I wonder if rocks fall on the tracks. They do, occasionally. Our engineers looking out for them and making sure they're not in our way. And if they are, people like me, the conductors, have to get out and move those rocks. Normally they're pretty small, but last week Peter and I were up here and a very large rock had fallen on the tracks. We were so determined to get up the mountain that we got out and we pushed that rock up the hill and propped it up with a few others. Cross your fingers, this might fall at any moment. This is prop rock here on the two-seat side.
Okay, so now it's snowing.
Now, if you believe
Yeah.
that tall tale, I think I might have a timeshare you'd be interested in.
I would imagine it's really snowing hard up on top.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Have you ever read this before?
What time? We went all the way down with a beautiful day. You can see forever.
Yeah.
See forever.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
That's pretty neat.
not fall.
I think this is our third or fourth time on this. Can't keep track. He goes on all the trains in Colorado.
It's a pipe.
I guess we all do.
It's a pipe. That's all a pipe.
For over 34 years, there was a hotel which operated at the head of Engelman Canyon. It started as a modest one-room log cabin, but the owner noticed hikers really liked to stop by, so he opened a lunch stand and went into business. Naturally, that led to the addition of a few rooms, and once the car railway opened, business really picked up. Eventually, they had 15 guest rooms, a banquet hall, a post office, a railroad station, and of all things, a one-lane bowling alley. All of this could be had for the low price of $10 a week. The name of this grand establishment was the Halfway House Hotel. Unfortunately, a fire did break out, and it was razed and removed in 1926. All that remains today is this sign over here on the 100 homes. There was a caretaker's house built from pieces of the old Halfway House Hotel, and it still remains to this day. Coming up here on the 3-seat side, that is John and Tessa's house. They are the caretakers to the oldest hydroelectric plant on this side of the Mississippi.
Look, there's
That dirt road over there, we're calling that John and Tessa's driveway. It's a joke though. It's actually a road that's about 60 miles and it wraps around some of the reservoirs here on the mountain.
what?
I get a lot of questions about
Watch
how
your
long it takes
elbow.
them to get to their
Pointy
house.
elbow.
Personally, I'm not 100% sure, but if that road's 60 miles long, then it must take quite a long time. From what I understand, they don't live up here during the winter because it's so secluded, usually during the spring and summer.
Oh, so this is a nice street. See what's going on out here.
We are now traveling through Pike National Forest. Pike National Forest is approximately 1.4 million acres in total area. If there's someone on the board today from the state of Delaware, we could fit your entire state within the boundaries of this forest. Now, there is a wide variety and abundance of wildlife in the area. However, the key word here is wild. We really don't know what's on their schedules for today or if we'll be able to see them from the tracks. We'll cross our fingers and hope that we do, but unfortunately there's no guarantees on wildlife viewing. Now, if you're interested in the kind of wildlife that does reside here, I can list a few of them for you. We have mountain lions and bobcats. We have moose, golden eagles. We've got skunks and porcupines, mule deer and black bears. And then once we get a little higher past tree line, we have Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep, Arctic ravens, elk, and our famous whistling yellow-bellied marmots.
Can you take my camera, please?
You know, every single day and every single trip and every day is different. We get all kinds of different weather. We see different animals. There's different groups of people from all around the world. Today, I think my favorite part about this is all of this hail on the ground. Believe it or not, that is not snow. That is small little pebbles of hail. It's something that happens quite regularly here in Colorado.
That's all hail. That's not snow, guys. That's hail. Not actual hail, but hail snow. That's what I call it.
that because sometimes we do see mule deer out here, usually in the evening time. Now, if you look at the very back of Deer Park, you're going to see some tall pine trees with cinnamon-colored bark. Those are ponderosa pines, and they don't receive that cinnamon color till they're about 80 years old. Some of the other trees I'm sure you've started noticing, there's a ton of them over here on the 3-seat side. The ones with the light-colored bark. Further down the mountain, actually we passed a bunch of them that had already grown their bright green leaves. These are called aspen trees, and those bright green leaves they're soon to grow are going to turn into a brilliant gold this autumn. It's something Colorado is very well known for, so if you're looking to visit us in another season, I strongly recommend the end of September, beginning of October, so you can see these beautiful changing of the leaves. Now, fun fact about aspen trees, they grow in groves and they share one single root system, so all of the trees in one grove are essentially one organism. Wisconsin. He was an inventor and entrepreneur his name was Zalman Simmons, and in the late 1880s, he took a burro ride trip up and down this mountain to inspect those telegraph line insulators which he had designed. He said the views were spectacular, however, that burro ride trip was the most uncivilized thing he had ever done. After that, he returned to Kenosha, put together some investors, and they got together about $1.5 million, which was quite a sum of money back then. After that, they bought the land and started construction of the railway. Our first passengers went up June 30th of 1891. Does anyone want to take a guess at how much a ticket cost back then? 5 cents?
Jeez.
10 cents?
Is that 5 cents up there or $5?
$5.
Someone say $5. It was actually $5.
If I had $10,
Believe it or not, that would be worth a ticket price of about $150 today. And that price didn't change for over 50 years.
Wow.
We've been in continuous operation all the way from 1891 up until October of 2017. That's when we did close for those renovations I spoke about earlier. But here 10 days ago, we reopened, and we really hope to be around for another 130 years. And for those of you out there that are wondering, who in the world is Zalman Simmons? I bet you're a little more familiar than you think you are. In fact, I bet there's even someone on the train today that owns a Simmons Beauty Rest mattress. That is the same Simmons. Now, Zalman Simmons did own this railway all the way until 1925. That's when he sold it to a local entrepreneur by the name of Spencer Penrose. Now, if you're local, I'm sure you hear that, or you've heard that name before. Spencer Penrose was the original owner of the Broadmoor Hotel, located nearby in Colorado Springs. If you're interested in learning more about this amazing 5-star resort located nearby, come and talk to me about it later, or you can always grab a brochure at the ticket office on your way out. In 1806, there was a gentleman by the name of Zebulon Montgomery Pike. He and his men were on a journey of discovery
Look,
very
there's
similar to
the
that
remains
of
of a
the
train.
famous Lewis and Clark. They were discovering the southern boundary of the newly acquired Louisiana Purchase. That's when they saw this mountain off in the distance and headed right for it. They believed it to be over 18,000 feet in height and wanted to see what they could see from the summit. However, they were in their summer uniforms, their supplies were running low, and they were in waist-deep snow. They did have to give up, so unfortunately, Zebulon Pike never reached the top of the mountain that bears his name. In his journals, he more modestly called it the Grand Peak. It wasn't until later that pioneers and explorers named this after him. Of course, there were many people that knew about this magical location for a millennia before Pike and his men ever arrived. 2 centuries ago, it was called James Peak after mountaineer Edwin James. 1 century before that, it was called El Capitan, or the leader, by Spanish conquistadors who were exploring the Americas. Then 600 years before even the Spanish arrived, that puts us somewhere around the 12th century, the native Ute tribe called this Chava, or Sun Mountain. It just keeps going and going, folks. The earliest known inhabitants of the area were known only as Clovis culture now. They have a history dating all the way back around 11,000 years ago. I'd love to be able to tell you what their names and myths were, but they were around for thousands of years before written language, so I don't believe anyone knows what those names and myths are. Now do keep in mind to stay out of the aisle while the train's in motion. I have seen some seat swapping, so please stay out of that aisle. I don't mind if you stand up in your seat area, just don't be in the aisle, please.
There is the lake somewhere over there. Where over there is the lake.
No, I'm just something. What?
Hey, I found it.
Now if you look down there, you're going to see a rock formation down on the 3-seat side. We like to call that the Lion's Den because it's been said that you can see mountain lions sunning themselves out there sometimes. Now today it's a little foggy and rainy, so I doubt we'd see them out there today, but if you come and visit us again, make sure and bring some binoculars so you can take a peek out there.
Okay, you're gonna be turning off your video.
Looks like the clouds are going to clear and give us a view up here, which is awesome. Keep in mind that all the white that you see on the mountain today, the majority of that is actually hail and not snow. In 1893, there was a teacher from Massachusetts who took a carriage ride up this mountain in some places that parallels our own tracks. She was struck by the beauty of the mountain, and when she returned to her hotel there in Colorado Springs, she wrote a poem about what she had seen. Her name was Catherine Lee Bates, and that poem was later set to a piece of music called Materna. Today, we of course know this as America the Beautiful.
Oh, wow.
It was a close second runner-up to be the proud national anthem of the United States of America.
Yeah, that's right.
Hold on.
Let's try to get a better view.
We call this spot Inspiration Point because it was views like this
Views, but
that inspired Catherine to write that patriotic song.
Okay. Watch where
There's less trees. Snowing now.
How you doing?
Might make a
Okay.
sequel to this.
Okay.
It's healing still. That's big snow coming down that mountain.
Now, if you look down on the three-seat side, you're going to see a lake down there. That is Lake Moraine. Lake Moraine is the only naturally occurring lake here on the mountain, placed here sometime in the last ice age by a glacier.
stay seated.
Okay.
Now, you might think that it looks a bit man-made, and that's because a few years ago, Colorado Springs built up a dam, and they reinforced the banks so that they can increase Lake Moraine's volume. Now, you might ask yourself, why do we call this a cog railway? Well, the most distinguishing feature is the center rail that runs through the track. If you look closely, you're going to see the teeth in it. That one is called the rack rail. The rack rail meshes with the cog wheels underneath the train. That's what gives us all of our driving and all of our braking force. Those outside rails, those are called running rails, and they're there to support the weight of the train and to guide it only. This is a standard gauge, 4 feet 8.5 inches between those running rails, just like any other standard gauge railway. But it's that cog wheel and rack rail that gives us the ability to climb grades of up to 25%, while normal adhesion railroads can climb grades of only 4%. This cog rail is one of only a few dozen in the world today, and one of only 3 here in the United States. There's another one that goes to the top of Mount Washington in New Hampshire, and then there's one in Michigan that goes down into the
Michigan.
Quincy mines.
Wow.
But right here on Peck's Peak is the most famous one of them all. We have the highest cog railway in the entire world, and we're one of the longest with 8.9 miles of continuous cog track.
I didn't think we were gonna get a snowy ride, did you?
Now coming up here on the three-seat side,